Hey, hey.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the lobby one for week 4 of the Dissidia Final Fantasy NT League. I am joined here by my co-commentator, Bumblebee Cody. What's going on, man?
Hey. Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm all good myself, though.
We have got 2 matches on this lobby lined up for today. The issue is that we have clashed with Stunfest, so unfortunately, Team NG are not in attendance this week. So sad times, sad times. But we do have 2 matches. First one is going to be quite an important one, actually. So we have Celestial Thorns Celestial Sphere versus Astral Thorns.
Astral Thorns, that's it.
I've got the two mixed up. Celestial and Astral are quite similar words, so I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
So please excuse me. But yeah, that will be our first game, and our second game. Let me just double check because we've got 2 more. And we have Celestial Sphere versus Dark Scrubs for the second round. So now, I think it should. The teams are almost ready to go. I'm just going to give them the go ahead, and I'm all spectated up.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. There we go. I had the wrong one. Right, so we've got Celestial Sphere and Astral Thorns, 2 very, very solid teams.
Yep, definitely.
It's going to be interesting on who will take advantage on what today. I've been impressed with both teams across the league season. Celestial Spheres have been on a downright tear in some circumstances. So
yeah, I mean, we saw that from them last week, didn't we? They really, I think for me personally, I really think they stood out. They just had such solid play that, maybe we might see that again this week.
Yeah, no, I'm really hoping we see like a real thriller between these 2 games. I'm hoping for a close 3-2 and pick out all the things that we can from it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like the weird thing is that like last week we saw quite a lot of 3-1 KOs kind of thing, and just, the kind of close matches that we've seen between those teams has been really exciting as well. So honestly, I'm hoping they kind of give us a lot to work with rather than just a complete straight wipe through. But we're getting straight into the first one already, so we'll see what our first match of the day is.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. So already, I mean, got quite a varied team between both of them as well. Very nice balance between both of them. Again, it's a stage that's a little bit hard to work with. I do like Stellar Fulcrum myself, but again, I know you're not really a fan of this stage because of the pits.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's just that the overhangs make the stage a lot more difficult than it needs to be.
yeah, I mean, that's one thing I remember you pointing out last time on this stage is that you've got those lips on the edge, so as you run up, you will get caught, and you have to move out slightly. So,
And I think
it's adapting to that.
I think one of the most interesting thing about the stage is that if you hop upwards when you get to a ledge, you actually you would actually like sit on top of it and hop up and go over certain attacks.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's quite interesting. I'll have to use that tech myself and use it for the next time on Stellar Fulcrum. But
Yeah, it has no invincibility, but it's just a very interesting
yeah.
way of looking at it.
Yeah, extra mobility as well. And there's a really nice combo there as well. I don't know if you quite saw it there, but basically, we saw Jamstar go for a bravery attack, just about whiffed, and then he got hit by Sarin with Zanshin, into which Mugshot decided to capitalize and go for a follow-up wombo combo and get the KO there.
Nice.
But double stock at the same time, though.
What I've realized is that they're actually Monolith Beam is out. I didn't realize that he had Monolith Beam out. That's really important because the thing is that what Monolith Beam does is that can clip you if you're trying to run up the side of the stage.
Exactly.
And wall running is quite important on this stage because of how close the walls are in determination of like where the center of the stage is.
Yeah, and he gets a KO with it as well. I mean, gets KO'd unfortunately on the blue team, so it's really going to come down to whether or not they can kind of just keep their backs against the wall and maybe not quite get cornered as much. Because now Oyster is potentially the final KO here at this point for the blue team. Oh, he's looking a little bit closer as well. Oyster needs to be a little bit careful with this again. So now out comes Odin. Again, it's quite a small stage. Don't really have that many areas to retreat to. and there will be a high chance you will get hit by the multiple spheres that Odin chucks out. So again, I would recommend if the blue team kind of just stay a little bit on the move. Maybe not try and tackle anyone down at the moment and just kind of be on the defensive. Oh wow! And
I saw.
Like, no, that's cool.
I actually saw. I didn't actually catch you playing the Garland, but they managed to land the HP attack quite late. Yeah. It was Ninzard. That's it.
Ninzard, yeah.
And I actually thought that was a surprising hit. Actually, I'm very surprised that he connected with it, but he just couldn't capitalize it because his team got KO'd shortly after that, which is quite unfortunate. So
it was again, like, you're playing Garland. You're on a stage like got Odin out and you're one stock down. It's like there's little to no breathing room, and because Garland has such slow travel speed, getting cornered on that stage is most likely what's going to happen. And because again you've got to respect Odin in this case and respect the team, you could kind of see it coming, unfortunately. And
Odin is the master of stage control. He's one of the few summons that he's summon effects basically affects everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really hard thing to avoid, and you sort of have to anticipate losing a lot of bravery and stuff like that. So it becomes a choice of, do you play risky and try to use up the HP attack before the summon is finished, or do you play defensive and try not to get KO'd from a HP attack from the hit stun of the Odin? It's very, 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 very interesting meta on how to define it. Yeah, I guess the kind of thing that really gets into your head, and like I said, because Garland just doesn't have that much maneuverability options, like his mobility is quite poor, honestly. It's just what's your kind of approach to it. And to be honest, I think Ninzard played really smartly. I think he chose the best option. And the thing is that's not a great stage for Garland either. Yeah. He's not at all. Yeah, the thing is, because there's so much vertical mobility, he has to use the wall run to get a lot of height. Yeah. And could be quite jarring at times. So yeah, I could see why he might find it frustrating. Yeah, and like I said, I can respect it. I think he didn't do anything wrong there. He kind of played his best hand as best as he could, but again, it wasn't really quite working in his favour. But that said, we are seeing a stage change now. It's another stage with quite a couple of the scaffolding all over the place. So we'll see. Oh, Midgard, one of my favourite stages. No, I'm just not a fan of this stage at all, but it's up to these teams to see how they work on it, and hopefully Ninzard can actually make himself kind of get off what he wants to on this stage, and already he seems like he is as well, so it's pretty nice to see that already. Running Earthquake as well, quite interestingly, it's very nice. Yeah, Earthquake is I would suspect that he would run Blaze on the stage, personally. Yeah. Just for the fact that it allows him to capitalize really well on wall sticks, which we get really commonly on the stage, actually. Yeah, there's so many opportunities for it. You can get hit from even those small little lips at the very bottom of the stage. You can see by Nin now. You can actually get hit by that at the right angle. So, and also. Oh wow, they've. Celestial Sphere has taken the first one. Yeah, Oyster did unfortunately just get KO'd there by Mugshot, but now it seems like they're turning it around as well, guys. To which Ninzard did actually help out and get a KO. Get Mug down to low health. So it's whether or not they can capitalise now, because they are looking quite low on health. Celestial Spheres at the moment, potentially 2 KOs here. It still is a kind of approach. It's kind of just about wow, nice dodge on the spiral cut. Yeah. And he doesn't avoid the second one. Oh, that was 3 stocks gone in one go. Triple stock. Nero needs to be a little bit careful now. He is on very, very low health. I am thinking, did Heartless Angel's Doom effect go off and cause the hit stun of that for him to be caught by that second spiral cut? Because I am not too sure why he ate the second one. Nice Monolith being behind the scaffolding. Yeah, nice to help his teammate out. He was... Or is that going to connect? Or just about. And the thing is, I'm not really too sure why. I'm actually genuinely unsure why he ate the second one. Yeah, I was trying to figure that myself out, because I can see that Jamstar took the KO as well. So, not Jamstar, Oyster. He got KO'd, so it was 3 stock KO, but I'm not really too sure where the second hit came from. That's the odd thing. Didn't quite see those. I think it was. I think Astral Forms managed to get an AOE HP attack off, but I'm not too sure as the one who connected with it. At the same time that Jamstar got hit with Spiral Cut. Very interesting. And because the thing is that Spiral Cut was very high up as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what really caught me off guard as well. But it seems like, you know, they've managed to kind of push it all back now. And to be honest, they're bringing it back to the.
Oh, Red Spiral connects! Wow, nice defensive play there. Spiral Cut is probably one of the best defensive HP attacks in the game. Very good anti-air.
Agree on that one. Yeah, it's this somewhat again like this is one of the few HP attacks that actually pulls you straight down from the air. It brings you down to the ground, and it can really completely mess up your game. So say you've got you think you've got the high grounds, next thing you know you're on the grounds being HP attacked. So you know it's quite scary, really nice.
Sorry, Windsor is got a lot of HP attack and he's not afraid to use it. White Wall also goes at the same time. Oof.
Yeah, Siren can potentially get a KO here as well. And I know he's looking. Oh, he can potentially get a KO. He's close to getting a KO.
He could get a KO on Intel, and I think he's looking for it. He's trying to scout one out, and I think he's trying to get his team to open him up. But Jamstar is...
could be him.
Yeah, ooh, and that... Huh. Mug Shutter.
Yeah, coming in with a HP attack to get the final stock for his team. But
that was interesting, because I didn't expect that happening in neutral, actually. That was a very neutral heavy end. And then Mugshot managed to nail it, and I didn't actually see what he got hit by. It literally just happened.
Yeah. Well, I think it just shows as well that Ninzard on a stage like this, it really works more in his favour. He's got the breathing space that he needs compared to the previous stage, Stellar Fulcrum, and then also how they can kind of capitalise and actually work with each other. So again, it just shows how much of a stage can counterpick a certain team and certain characters as well.
Yeah, he has to really be careful in that sense of not being picked out, especially in the neutral game, because one of the things that Garland's weak at most is his neutral game.
Yeah.
Like, he's very low mobility, means that he's very exposed when playing neutral, and it's one of those things where he's dependent on the team to bring him openings.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's better more of a cavalry character than a normal character.
Yeah, he's good. He's got a really nice range as neutral bravery attack as well. You know, the massive like kind of sword whip that just comes out of nowhere. It can really just throw you off your game as well. So he's the kind of character that will catch you off. And obviously the drill, I really like the drill. It's just the move that just comes out of nowhere, and it's got so much priority. It hits really fast, and it's got really nice tracking on it as well. And it lasts a lot longer than it looks as well. Yeah, it was really nice turn there as well. That one sec, I think again, like one of the key points there was that whole section where we have a 3-stock KO just between both teams. That was complete and utter chaos. But it was really funny to see. But I didn't quite catch the finer details of that. Again, like who got hit by what HP attack and the kind of timing that it was. But yeah, that one moment really turned it all around. And I think really what was really interesting is that at the beginning of the match, we did actually see Celestial Spheres get down to low health. I mean, fair enough, they got a KO on Oyster, but then they managed to turn it around.
Yeah, they lost 2 stocks in a very short space of time, and I think it was just from a small amount of overextension.
Yeah,
but there's not really much that they could have done about that, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
I think
but they played really well.
Yeah, they played really well to pull it back, because at the end because Astral Thorns lost the first stock.
Yeah,
and
and then they managed to get the Celestial Spheres down to low health, then get the double KO, and then it kind of evened it out. So it was really good though. But at this point now, we're in a more open stage, so really this could.
Oh, so basically we're on Battlefield now, the Sidious Battlefield.
Sidious Battlefield. No ledges though.
Yeah, no ledges, but it's not a perfect circle. It is a hexagon-shaped stage, which means that you can sometimes be off access for wall combos.
And you do have those 4 sections on each different diagonal section to also run up the wall as well.
Yep.
So there are places to retreat to in the verticality section of the stage. And speaking of as well, it's retreating.
Mugshotter Nero is on life support right now. Oh boy.
He's on 100 health. Oh, and people are looking at him at the moment. Because Nin, he was looking at him, but didn't want to get the KO. And
he's down. Oh, White Wall connects, and
nice.
What both I keep forgetting. Red Spiral. That's it. Red Spiral and Red Spiral and White Wall both connected in very short spaces of time with each other.
Yeah, really
so he managed to tag one, and then use the buff that he gets from landing his first HP attack to get a second one.
Yeah. Does go for a White Wall, does actually miss, and Siren does capitalise on him kind of whiffing, catching the startup frame, of White Well, so Siren does actually get in with that. But now, funnily enough, like Nero at the beginning, Oyster's now looking on 88 health, so it's going to be a little bit scary. Although Ramu is out, so it's kind of what's the kind of game plan now that you've got to watch out for the lightning coming out of nowhere.
The thing is, at least with the lightning, is quite predetermined, so you can move out of the way if you are not suspecting it. Oh,
yeah. Oh, very nice. One by combo there. That was really nice capitalization on that. And it looks like
the thing is that the Doom effect there just happened to go off at the same time. So,
exactly.
So that basically was guaranteed. Unfortunately.
Yeah, he had that as well. That was from earlier on where Siren did actually catch him whiffing the White World in the 20-second countdown after Ramu kind of went off. So
we have a lot of people. Oh, that's a KO.
Yep. Oh.
Wow. His kill got sniped.
Yeah.
Oh, that kill still. I would be very bitter if I was in that team right now.
Yeah, I'll be having some private words and via DMs afterwards.
Because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I was expecting mugshots to be like, cool, this is mine, and then, nah, cool, I'm stealing that from you. You know, straight from out of his hands.
that's
good, I like that.
that is quite unfortunate on their end, actually.
HP bans, they love it. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. Once again, though, really close match between both of those teams. Again, I think it show again to focus on Ninzard again. It really was down to what he can do on certain stages, and again, this is a really good stage for him. It gives him the mobility that he needs, and it also gives him the area to attack in any direction. But again, it also works in favour of the opposite team as well. There's no projectiles.
Yeah. The thing is, as long as there's open space, then as long as there's open space, Garland does have a disadvantage because his lack of mobility and the fact that his moveset is quite narrow means that it's very hard for him to pull people out of neutral. However, he's very good at capitalizing from other people's mistakes.
Exactly.
So maybe what I would think Astral Thorns should do is move Ninzard to a sort of more of a further back position and have Jamstar on lead.
Yeah, that's actually that's a really good idea, because I think that even if they changed it around and had, as you said, keep the play as is, but maybe if Ninzard maybe opted in for Blaze, that may in fact give them the respect that they're looking for to keep them away. Because it's also a really good way to bait people out as well. Because
the thing is that with Celestial Sphere's composition, the thing is that the only threat to Blaze once Blaze goes off is Monolith Beam. So if they can keep the ace busy, preferably with someone like Jamstar, they could converge on the other two team members and have Ninzard move on a sort of punishment sort of role. So he covers.
He's kind of like he's on standby basically. As soon as you see the mistake, jump in, go for the punish, or just at least just keep him busy and occupied. Like just stay on standby, don't be out in front.
Yeah,
I think that's actually a really good idea. It could actually work, so we'll see if they. Oh, we actually seeing a change from Ninzard, but this time he's going for Tsunami rather than Earthquake.
Oh, so he's going to play some. So okay, so that basically sort of justifies what I've just said now, because now he goes for a very zone-heavy punishment game. So he's going to be covering around the back of the team.
It looks like the whole team have actually decided to go for that, as you said, that style of play, because Oyster is now not running Ace, he's now running Lightning, so they've now got the Assassin. So they've got two Assassins and Garland, so Oyster's opting in for Lightning, which again I'm a fan of. You know,
I didn't check what HP attack he's running.
He's running Lightning Strike.
I'm not too familiar with that HP attack. What does that do?
It's so it fires out right in front of her a little quick bolt of lightning, and then she quickly turns around and does like a second hit with the swords. So it's a double HP. It hits twice, and it's very very quick.
Okay.
But it hits very close to her. She doesn't move. It's
does she go upwards during the animation?
No, she stays exactly where she is. You have to be right next to them.
Interesting. I would have actually recommended with this team setup, Gale.
Yeah, Gale on this stage works. Again, nice open space. You have to affect it.
It just the thing is that once it's out, oh god, HP Hot Steel connects. That's a very unfortunate one to get hit by, because the thing is that Astral Thorns are completely all over the place at the moment. They just need to sort of get their formation back together.
Yeah, I think they can do it as well. But they do just about lose a stock. But now they need to be a little bit careful. They are both on. I mean, look at Ninzard's health; it's at 1,300. While Oyster Chops is at killing range.
Yeah, he's.
And this is it. Yeah, walls black. Okay, HPs.
He throws out Tsunami, sidesteps the Spiral card. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was really smart. That was like some Spider-Man, Spider Sense like that. I see you come behind.
That cat. Oh, Lightning Strike connects as well.
That's how that move works. Very, very nice move. I love it.
I still
don't run it.
A very fast close range poke actually.
Yeah, very, 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 very fast HP attack. Barely any startup as well. I don't know the frame data on it exactly, but it's really nice HP attack.
Oh, Jamstar's on kill range, but there are 2 stocks behind, and they've got the summon too. Ramuh goes out.
This is going to be again really nice stage for Ramuh to kind of push Celestial Astral Fawn, a little bit back, because they were actually kind of gaining a little bit of brain as well. You can see how they've managed to get Nero Mud to decent health while building up their own bravery, but now they just have to stay back and respect Ramuh in case they lose their bravery points that they've just built up. And
the thing is that this is definitely the point where they should be playing the zone heavy game. And the thing is that I think what move would be great here, and although Jamstar's not running it as far as I'm aware, is that his projectile fireball would be really good here to use.
Oh, the Blitzball thing.
Yeah,
definitely. Like that would have been really nice. But he's still running White Roll, Red Spiral. I did see him throw it out just to get. Yeah.
And just as he said that, Red Spiral did go off, but Spiral Cut does connect.
Spiral Cut. Yeah. I think he caught Garland just below him. He was right by the wall. Again, Garland against the wall. It's how do you capitalize? Not capitalize. How do you kind of move out from that situation with your back literally against the wall?
And the thing is, I think what would have been good there is if he had Blaze, he might have been able to use Blaze as a self-defense mechanic there, possibly.
Even with Ramuh out as well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because the thing is that Blaze's hitbox is quite deceptive in terms of how it hits and where it works. But the only problem is that if he throws that out as a sort of defensive option, he gets punished very hard by Monolith Beam.
Yes, exactly. But in this case, they didn't even have Ace, so.
So it is a tough one.
They're trying to make something work though. I mean, I think honestly, Oyster Chops should stay as Ace. Again, I love Lightning, but he was playing really solid with Ace. There was something that I didn't point out last time, but on Stellar Fulcrum, he helped his teammates out so many times just because of Monolith Beam and keeping Celestial Sphere at bay. I think he had a really solid Ace, and he was giving Garland the projectile mobility that he needed. So Ace chucks up projectile, Garland trails behind it, and it keeps him safe. But they don't really have that when you play Lightning, because her Ravager is like a poor man's marksman. It doesn't quite give him what he wants.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
Yeah, like I get the idea behind it, but I really think Oyster Chops was running a lot more solid. Their team felt a lot more together when they had Ace with Monolith Beam.
And the thing is that Monolith Beam's protection is really, really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And it's really hard. And the thing is that the temptation of giving that up is massive.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're still running it. Now we're getting basically what is the final destination.
Oh yeah, there we are. We are definitely getting that now. If we didn't get it before, we're definitely getting it now.
Yeah. Thomas Murdo.
The thing is here is that if they're sticking with Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Ninzard takes a step back.
Yeah, this is exactly what you mentioned before. The large open spaces they're okay, but Garland does kind of need the defense that his team provide. And at the moment, that's what they're doing.
Especially in this stage, because the thing is that it's so easy to get caught unsuspecting in this stage.
Yeah,
because
it's a great stage for marksmans.
Nice. Ninzard managed to finally get some bravery out of that.
Yep, managed to push away Sephiroth for a little bit and give himself a little bit of breathing space and separate Celestial Sphere.
But Celestial Sphere's got their formation is very, very solid. Even they're taking quite a lot of bravery damage right now, and they've still got their formation. It's still really solid. Nero's trying to flank, and he manages to catch Oyster, but Oyster Lightning Strike goes off, and it whiffs.
Very close.
Ooh! Very nice. The thing is, you have to pre-anticipate that as well.
Cyril is looking to go for a KO there as well.
Oh, Oyster, he's lost his kill bravery. He gets saved by by Red Spiral though. Lightning Strike goes off and whiffs.
Oh, Tsunami hits. But then because he does even so, what happened there was that
He
Ninja did get Tsunami off and Siren, but then he got punished.
Yeah, and see, this is the point where I think if you're running,
Ooh, amazing from Jamstar.
if you was running, wait, if you was running Gale or Crushing Blow, this would be so much better for the Lightning.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she has to play footsies games with both Jecht and Tidus, and that's really hard to do as a Lightning.
Yeah.
So
you get so many setups with Ravager stance that Crushing really helps you out.
Yeah, so I don't think Lightning Strike is the best thing to do. And the thing is that Ice has thrown that out at least 5 or 6 times in this match already, and he's not managed to connect with it yet.
No, he's still going for it.
He's still going for it. I don't blame him, but you have to make use of it somehow.
Yeah.
I think he's either lost all of his bravery or he's landed it.
But the problem is as well, though, is that I've seen this every single match so far. Both Celestial Spheres, they send out the summon, and then Astral Thorns just don't respect it, and now they've lost their bravery point, and now they're just losing HP. I think just running away would be a good option.
Mugshotter needs to be neutered at the moment.
Oh wow, this is coming close as well. Celestial Spheres both got 4.7k bravery just between Siren and Mugshotter. This is a KO regardless. That's going to be really bad damage.
That's dead character. Yeah.
They built up too much bravery too quickly, and again, like I said, Astral Thorns, I can kind of understand what they're doing, but they never respected the summons. They let Odin,
run riot,
constantly get them. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, once you let them run riot, that's when you have problems, basically. That was quite unfortunate, but damn if that wasn't a good match.
Yeah, again, a good match, but I think the biggest key point was just try and respect the summon as much as you can, because there's a reason why Celestial Spheres are running it as well, and it's the reason why is why you kind of, which is basically because of the way his projectiles work and what he sends out onto the stage as well. It's going to be a massive problem for you. It's a great stage control, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and the thing is that when it comes to that, you really sort of have to be very careful on what you do, and they didn't really take advantage of the situation when they could have. Just a few, I think, to be fair, this is Ninja's and Ice's very first time playing in the league, actually. They are Astral Thorn's newest players, so they're probably just getting used to playing as a team together.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the biggest things I can say that to take away from that is just that I think that they'll be looking to concentrate on is actually on their composition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I noticed many times as a mini map that Celestial Spheres, basically how it seemed like Astral Thorns had a game plan, and then every time I saw Celestial Spheres kind of get right into them, they kind of took them apart. Basically, they managed to spread them out. They managed to put the right class against the right class as like a counter pick, and they kind of left them kind of scrambling to Astral Thorns scrambling to make a plan, while Celestial Spheres kind of just took them apart and dissected them at different angles. And this is something I've said about not just Nero, but LXD, Mugshotter. They're Siren with them. They're one of the few people that I've ever come across where they have a game plan and they really stick to it, and they're very, very, very good at dissecting people and dissecting teams and taking them apart and making the opposing team make Celestial Spheres get the respect that they want.
No, definitely.
And we saw that from them last time as well, and the time before that. Like they do this every time.
Yeah, and if anything, it's really, really, really difficult for them to get around that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that once it got to a situation where Celestial Spheres got the advantage, it was very hard for Astral Thorns to really pull it back. And I think because they're playing, it kind of shows that the team was new, because they played more like 3 good individual players rather than a good team.
That's a perfect way of saying it, actually. I mean, now that you say it, like, kind of see again, like based on the formation, based on where they were playing, the fact that they were switching between characters and HP attacks, while Celestial Spheres realised that it's really weird to say, but you can almost say like it's almost in a kind of cocky sense, not in a bad way. But
no, it's just teams versus individuals. That's the way to look at it. And the thing is that when you're working in a team, and the thing is that when speaking when speaking to Jamstar, which I do quite often, whenever we talk about anything to do with Final Fantasy in terms of team composition, on how to make things work and stuff like that, one of the key things that we talk about is that you pick things that make your team work. And in situations like, for example, in terms of sorting out, in terms of when you look at, say, Oyster when he's playing Lightning, for example, in a situation where his Garland has switched to Tsunami, it might have been a better option to switch to Gale.
Yeah.
Because it allows your Garland to have that space in front of him so he doesn't get flanked. But it also makes it so that if he went with Crushing Blow, they could play more of an offensive one to cover his Garland with melee attacks.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's the kind of thing where you look at a character like Garland and say, what are his flaws? And then you say, okay, I'm playing an assassin, I'll cover those flaws for you.
Yeah.
So in the way, say, I mean, I really liked the original composition they had with Oyster Chops running as Ace, because he was able to push out projectiles, and then that way Celestial Spheres had to respect the projectiles coming in.
Yeah, they had to. And the thing is that once you respect it, once you've gained that once you force them to respect it, it means that they have to play the neutral.
And that's where Garland shines his most in the neutral.
Yeah, and the thing is, if he's playing the neutral, and everyone that is in that neutral, and everyone that's in that neutral is right in front of him, then that's exactly how Garland wants to play.
Yeah.
Like, without fail, that is what he wants to do.
There were so many times as well, like, as you said, I think that perfect analogy is that there were kind of three good individual players, because the thing is, as much as we're saying like Celestial Spheres kind of took them apart, funnily enough, taking them apart was okay because they all played so solidly on their own. I mean, Jamstar did amazingly well with White Well and Red Spiral. I did really like how Ninja was playing Garland. I don't think he played badly. It's just I don't think he had the support Garland needs in a team-based game. On his own, he doesn't really work. As a team, he does. And again, I loved Oyster Chops as Ace. It was a really standout character. There were many times that I think I couldn't quite commentate at the time because there was just so much happening. But Oyster Chops as Ace, his Monolith beam play was just incredible, especially on Stellar Fulcrum as well.
Yeah, and the thing is that once that's on the floor, you just have to respect it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's hard for them. It's hard to get that across about how much it is or how difficult it is to gain that respect on the field. And the thing is that once you force Celestial Spheres to respect the way you play, you can then start to maneuver around them. And then at that point, you could slow the game down to sort of be like, this is what you can do to get around their defensive or get around their formation. Because if you look at Celestial Sphere's composition in that match, they play on chaos and they play on scrambles, and they've got the characters to make scrambles and skirmishes work because their characters have got fast hitting attacks, quite long range, and they've got HP attacks that come out relatively fast or move in ways that are not normal to the game.
And it's funny as well, they didn't even have a marksman, so they were like, we're all about melee attacks.
And the thing is that if they're forced to play the long range game, they can't play the long range game. That team just can't do it. So if they had the Ace to use the Monolith Beam to zone them out and be like, look, you draw a line in the sand and you can't get past this line, right? You will not get your offense in. That at that point, that's when it makes it difficult for them.
Yeah, because it's about them. It's now about Celestial Spheres trying to get in, rather than kind of all going off doing your own different thing and then being taken apart one by one. But again, like I said, it wasn't. Again, I can't really stress it enough. I know we've kind of beaten Astral's Fawns a lot, but honestly, like Nin.
I think
they did amazingly well. They got so many stocks.
With what they had, they played really well. And what I just want them to take into account for the next time they play is that I want them to just be a little bit more aware on what they can do for each other as a team. Yeah,
and know what character limitations are and how you can cover those defensive weak spots, basically, like Garland, for example, or Ace.
Because the thing is that that fifth game is a perfect example on how important HP attacks and team compositions work, right? You saw You saw Oyster nail so many bravery attacks, and he couldn't convert most of it just because his HP attack didn't suit the situation he was in.
Yeah, exactly.
He got into situations where he would spend more time pressing his HP attack just because he was looking for it to cash out all of his bravery.
Same with Oyster Chops as well. Like you said, Pandemonium worked really well with Lightning Strike, but it didn't work that well on Promised Meadow, which is what you said earlier on. Maybe Crushing Blow would have been the best choice for this, which I also agree with on a stage like that.
And the thing is that it's the problem is when you play, for example, Lightning Strike, is that you play into the other team's advantage. So if you've got a team full of vanguards and assassins who feed off the close range game, you'd want to pick a HP attack which prevents you from getting into that situation.
Or play a very strong Ravager stance as well, because you can do that.
And the thing is that the amount of risk that you play using Lightning Strike in that situation makes it really hard to play. So, if anything, I'm hoping I really want him to bring his ace to the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
I really want to bring his ace to the next one.
The right choice. Regardless of what stages they picked, I really think Ace was... Oyster Chops was doing really good with his ace on every stage. And I think, again, Jamstar was really solid as well. Like, I think he was consistently the most solid because, again, he didn't switch characters. He also changed his HPs accordingly to what stage they had. Like, on Pandemonium, he went for the Blitzball one, but on the previous stage, he went for White Well Red Spiral. So, yeah, Jamstar played very solidly there, consistently solid. And I think Nin just didn't... He played solid as well, but because he didn't have the backup from his teammates, that's kind of where his flaws came in. So I can't really fault him for that, but again, his
White Well Red Spiral game was on point. He managed to hit so many red spirals in that, and I think what he's got down to an art form now is being able to pick off people just when they think that they're outside of Red Spiral's range. Because they'll sit there and they'll cast something or they'll get ready to channel attack, and then Red Spiral just comes out of nowhere, and they're like, "How the earth did I get hit by that?" That was absolutely like that makes no sense. Yeah. And you could tell that it took Celestial Sphere a couple of games to really catch on how Jamstar's Vaughn played. They were really confused at the start because they kept getting attacked by HP attacks, and the HP attacks didn't necessarily do a lot of damage, but being hit by a HP attack has a psychological effect on you. You're like, how did I get hit by that? That shouldn't have hit me, and stuff like that. And then you're put into knockdown when you're invincible. So you have to think about the time that you've gotten hit, and you have to sit there and just think about it and be like, look, how on earth do I get back? Why did I get hit by that? And the first thing you want to do is like, I just want to get that guy back. I'm gonna make him regret him not killing me. And being hit by advanced HP attacks has that sort of effect. It's so like, for example, in Street Fighter. We'll use Street Fighter as an example. So when you've been hit by let's say you get hit by a Dragon Punch, right? We'll use SF4 as an example. So if you get hit by Dragon Punch FADC Ultra, right, in neutral, that's what getting hit by advanced HP attack is like.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's just got into my head, and it's trying to not let it get into your head is the main thing. And again, like a stage can kind of make that difference as well, but it's basically, as you said, it just kind of gets into you.
The good thing is that I have some replays from the last set.
Yeah, I've saved them as well
to show off. So basically, I'm going to play back the last game, for people to watch. Let me just find the scene for it. Right. So it was the last 5 minutes. So I've at the game of 4 minutes, and you can tell from the start that it was very, very difficult for them to. It was very, very difficult for Astral Thorns to get a hang on their tempo of the game. And you could see right from the beginning that, like, if you look at right at the beginning of the match, within that the first 25 seconds.
Okay.
The first 25 seconds, Tidus gets in a spiral cut really quickly into the match.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes forwards, and you just watch him, keep an eye on the other team, just be like, look, okay, I'm going to pick my spot. Punishes the Garland, gets the wall stick, gets the second HP attack combo, turns around, immediately punishes Vaughn with a spiral cut. Immediately.
And checking this now. Oh, okay, yes, yeah.
And in that situation, you have to think that team is determined on talking of making it about the skirmish. Like, there was within a minute of that, of showing how playstyles work. This is a perfect example of how different playstyles in Dissidia work and how you change the situation into your favor.
Yeah.
And
it's like you also have to factor in as well, like what character you're playing as well as what stage you're playing on as well, because a character would be different on every single stage, so it's adapting to that.
Exactly. So even if you look at it from about 8 seconds in, there is a good bit of distance between the two teams. Very good bit of distance between the teams. They dash in, Celestial Sphere dash in, and they're immediately uncontested coming in. And because of that, it's absolute chaos. So, Ninzard hits Nero with Tsunami. But his Tsunami doesn't do any damage because he's already been hit earlier from the neutral combo carry into Wall Slam.
Yeah, like the only thing he really gained from that was the fact that because he hit
Nero, was the knockdown.
But then he ends up getting punished himself, which was the first stock of the game.
And the thing is, it's just an example about how Celestial Spheres, they just made the matchup about them. So they didn't do anything fancy, or they didn't do anything a very intricate strategy. They just forced all of their characters' advantages on the other team.
They played to the fundamentals of their team and worked with it without really any need to mix up.
Yeah, and the thing is that even there's no neutral game. Like, their objective is that they don't want to play the neutral. They would happily eat. They ate so many bravery attacks in this game to get in, but once they got in, they made it work.
Yeah.
And that is just basically just how their game is. They force mistakes and they force situations, and I think Astral Thorns had a setup to deal with it. Yeah,
the thing is they've come close like so many times, but it felt like it was an uphill struggle to try and get the stocks. But again, it's just like we said before, it really is like it felt like 3 different characters rather than a single team. And again, they did really well for how far they got and what they managed to accomplish, but it was just trying to get those stocks. And I couldn't really see much of a formation from them. It didn't really feel like there was a battle plan. But like I said, maybe it's because I've seen Celestial Spheres play so many times that I understand their formation, the way that they play, that you could kind of dissect it and say this is what they're doing. But for Astral Thorns, again, they didn't really feel like there was much formation. And like I said, Celestial Spheres, they will take you apart. They dissect you completely. They dissect your teammates, your gameplay, how you play on that character, on that stage. So yeah, it was. But again, it's close. I think the biggest key point that was probably just for Astral Thorns. If they're going to play in this formation with these teams, recognize what their strengths were, and then maybe get a closer, tight knit kind of team play going on rather than a team of 3 solo play.
I think they've got a very solid team, and the thing is that the neutral there is the neutral is there. So I'm watching the match back at when it was on Pandemonium, and the thing is that the outside of the stocks lost, the neutral game is there. Like, seeing situations where they avoided death in certain circumstances. Yeah, I'm just watching back Ninzard's epic dodge from the spiral car after the with Tsunami.
It was amazing. Really perfect, nice timing. And see, I would have dodged as I saw the activation rather than.
And the thing is that if I was just watching that now, and another thing just came up, and it literally just flashed by us, is that Oyster used Lightning Strike as a punish.
Yeah.
So you can tell that the neutral that they have as players is there. It's just that they need to get the team composition down. And once they have, I think they'll come back like in 2 weeks, being like, yeah, no, we got this. Yeah, just this punish was amazing on Nero.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. He made him whiff the neutral bravery in midair, and then he just punished him with the lightning strike immediately. He gave him no time to react to it.
Yeah,
so good.
It's kind of like in Street Fighter when you whiff a light DP because they think they're going to go for a punish, and then the next one is another DP. It's like
yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh man, here we go again with the loops. But it was a really. I honestly thought that what was going to happen was that Nero was going to get punished, but it felt more like he had that planned the whole time. Well, I mean, he clearly did. He had it planned the whole time, and then had his teammates to help him out in case the plan didn't quite go through as he intended.
And the thing is that it happens sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's what can you do? So it happens. But anyway, we're gonna start getting ready for our second match. We're gonna do Celestial Sphere versus Dark Scrubs. I'm just letting the guys know in Discord.
Cool, Dark Scrubs, good stuff.
And this will be our second round 8 match. The NGI guys are not playing their games this weekend because they are attending Sunfest in France. Which is a fighting game competition. France's biggest fighting game competition. And one of their biggest gaming festivals too.
It's one of the most prolific ones in the world as well, isn't it? It's up there in terms of like the road to Evo.
Yeah, and the thing is that I think they might have something Dissidia related there. I'm not too sure. I heard something about it, so I was discussing this with Jamstar recently if they were going to do anything, but Square Enix France have not announced anything as of yet. So, but I'm interested to hear from the people down on the ground at that event to see if there's anything Dissidia running. So, so. This will be an interesting. This is going to be interesting because I am wondering what team Celestial Sphere would run.
Yeah, I mean it depends. I mean what their kind of gameplay is. I mean compared to last week, who did we have last week? It was LXD last week, wasn't it? So
yeah,
he was like based on also massive credit to Spickle and Toxic for the Dissidia EU League, like all the trivia,
all the trivia stuff.
Like one of the biggest key things is that they didn't bring LXD this week. Maybe he's busy, I'm not too sure, but he was there as we say, Almighty Chocobo and Ultimate Weapon as well. So he got a lot of KOs last, got the whole team KO and also was the MVP for the team as well. So I mean, to be honest, Celestial Sphere, and we've only had them against one team so far. They've done really well, and we'll see what their approach is this week. Against Dark Scrubs.
Oh right, I think they are going for their all-out attacking team once again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is you've got like a couple of rounds to at least suss out the opponent. You can literally go to like round 4, go actually let's change it up, and then maybe that will be much better for you. So, there's no real reason to change it just yet. To be honest, they're looking very solid. I think they're. But Dark Scrubs, they're not the kind of team you really want to be kind of sleeping on as well. I've seen
they call themselves Lord of Noobs, and I can tell you now they are not noobs.
Yeah, definitely.
They are not noobs at all. At your own risk.
Yeah,
I can say that.
On that Mass Exodus, he plays Y'shtola, correctly.
Oh, there's not many. We don't have any Y'shtolas in the league. Y'shtola is another one of those characters where you sort of have to build around her rather than she just fits into any team. She's probably one of the few characters that are like the exact, more like Garland. I could say that she's the marksman version of Garland, where you have to build your team around her. She's got really good support. It's just that her team has to be very aware that she exists.
Yeah, and like I said, we go see we're going to see the Y'shtola, we're going to see Ramza, and we're going to see Lightning as well. Loving the Lightning. So we've got a marksman. So it's actually nice to see a bit of a varied team for us. Not so much as a Vanguard and the Assassins. We've now got an Assassin with a marksman and a Specialist.
So we are moving on to round 8.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our second game of the night.
Mm-hmm. Good stage as well. I really like this stage. It works well. Marksman. It gives them it forces the projectiles out. And I like if you already just to point this out here, I can see a lot of noobs. They're already playing the projectile game. This is something. This
is now where the issue is for Celestial Spheres. What are they going to do to get in?
Yeah,
the zoning is so strong.
It's so good. It's amazing. I mean, as I was about to say, like, you see how we started out on the beach. They're now staying on the beach, and they force Celestial Spheres.
I've just noticed that. Oh wow, that's nice. So Celestial Spheres have gone for tried to go for a pincer effect, and nice punish from with lightning there.
Oh, amazing combo for Mass Exodus. That was brilliant. I love that combo. I'm going to steal that because I'm now playing Yashtoda also. But that was
that. If you notice that the good thing about Darth Scrubs here is that they immediately realized that they were in a pincer situation. And they had Saren was behind them, and they were like, "Look, we need to get out of here." And they not only did they get out of the situation, they used it to punish Saren as well. And
they ran out into the open and then decided, "Quick, come back! He's behind us."
Yeah, so they're following Id now, and the thing is, Darth Scrubs are just keeping their formation really well, and now they've gone back.
Solid.
Yeah, they've gone back to the zoning game here now, and Nero's just been sent packing.
Not happy about that. I just saw that as well. I mean, at the moment, Mugshot is the one who's trying to make his 3.6k bravery be the defining moment.
Again, Nero got in and he got punished for it.
Yeah.
Spiral Cut goes out and connects though.
Comes a synergy summon. Not quite. Almost.
Yep, they got it. So
after this, Nero is on his own. He is on low HP, but Mugshotter does have 4.6k bravery, so there could be a stock loss for both teams there.
Oh, Gale goes out. Oh, they're playing Gale as well. They are committed to this zoning game.
Ready to go from release of the ID. Oh, damn! And there goes. Oh wow, they've just lost their specialist.
I think that's interesting because they've gone to take him out, but the thing is that they're still. They're still in the back foot. Wow, connects with both of them.
Very nice. I saw that. Yeah, it was very, very nice. I mean, the thing is now Celestial Spheres are actually very low in health. So there is.
Heartless Angel goes out and connects. Oh, Rams has got to be careful. Rams has got to be careful because he's got 13. Oh wow, he gets the kill.
He gets it.
And he gets his thing removed as well at the same time. Yeah. Good stuff.
That was very nice. Really nice dodge there from from Nell from the red spiral cut. Sorry. Though Nell is looking on low health, and so he's a little bit careful. So he's released the ID, very low health too.
Yeah, he got hit by Heartless Angel there, but he's probably gonna find a way to get it off. Gasp goes out, uses a Gale in requirement, and he just gets hit by Spiral Cut. They've just lost their positioning. Yeah. And Feeble goes out.
Amazing dodge from Nell.
And Feeble goes out. He unlucky.
He only dodged for so much.
He tried to go on the offense, and I think he should just kept backdashing.
Yeah, it was. That was like, it was a very, very intense, tight situation. You just lost one of your teammates, and now you're out on Feeble.
So I still think he should. The thing is that his teammate was right behind him, and Mass Exodus had him covered. He was literally one backdash away from him. Oof.
That's tough though. I mean, trying to run away from Triumph and Gasp is, it's surprisingly quite difficult.
It's hard. The thing is about Gasp is that what people have to remember is that the tracking on Gasp only disappears when he hits the ground. Yeah.
You need to dodge once he's on his way down. That's when you do it. You don't dodge as it starts up. It's the only way to try and get out of it. And we're also in a character change here, player change. So Amber Fire is jumping in.
Yeah, Amber Fire is swapping out for his name has just eluded me.
Nelspike. Sorry.
I wonder what character he plays because I'm not too familiar with him.
Not 100% sure myself either. We'll see when it jumps in. But honestly, that was really solid.
That was a very good match to watch. I was mad hyped to watch that. And
this is what we talked about last time, where Celestial Spheres are like, cool, we've got a game plan, and if you stop their game plan, then they have to fall back and kind of lower their gears basically and go, we kind of have to respect this, guys. What's our game plan? Honestly believe Lord of Noobs could have done that. They had such a solid start, but I think they just got opened up a little bit too much and were caught sleeping at certain times, and with Feeble as well.
I think they should. Oh, wait, we're back to Besaid Island.
Okay, nice. And
complete
character composition change between everyone.
Oh man,
for Nero and Mog.
Siren's gone with Siren's changed as well.
Yep. Siren's now going for X-Def, and we're going to be seeing Ace jump in. We're going to be seeing a Noctis, and we're going to see Release Idea, who's now switched from Lightning to Sephiroth.
So we've got a bit of a mirror match on today, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go about this.
Yeah, same islands, but very different teams. Again, Amber Fireheart is the new one jumping in this time instead of Nell. So we're not going to have the Ramza specialist, but instead we're going to have the marksman Ace.
Wow, they've lost the stock already. I think Mass. I think Mass just overextended really heavily, and he got punished for it. Why is he really? He's trying to disrupt their formation and give his Ace space, but his Ace has got so much space already.
Yeah, and he's going out on his own as well. You can see them both.
Which is
you can see 2 and 3 on him. Which
has forced id's Release of the id to come out as well. Yeah, I'm not really
thinking it might be breaking their own composition at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that was necessary. And see, now id's jumped out of that and has left Mass on his own. And I think
all of them are targeting id as well. That's the thing. If you look at his picture, you've got 2 on 3 on there. They're all looking at him.
Yeah.
Now they're looking at Mass. So
yeah, I think. And the thing is that they're fighting out of Ace's range as well, which makes it really hard for Ace to back them up.
Just about to say, Saban managed to build up 4k bravery, and he managed to go for the free, basically what I think was a free KO there, and managed to get it off Release.
I've just been watching. I've been watching Amber's Ace basically most of this match, and Ace has been out of range to punish anything that's going out. Again, double kill on the Night Glow, and Ace was too far away to punish it because they're playing out of their marksman's range.
Yeah, that's really the thing as well. Like he's a good, really good characters anyway. But his marksman, fun enough, it doesn't have the level of poise that you would from those kind of projectiles. They against a character like X-Def as well. Yeah, it's not going to really be doing too much. It's not really a threat, to be honest. And having him out in the open, just chucking, kind of chipping away at cards, doesn't really do much for your team, especially when your other team are out on their own.
Not really.
One of the other things as well was that no one actually looked at Amber Fireheart. I don't know if
Amber Fireheart got because they didn't. Amber Fireheart got hit 3 times.
Yeah, they don't think Amber Fireheart's a problem, and that really threw the whole team apart. And I didn't really see why Mass would opt in for Noctis. Again, I love the character, but
if you're gonna if you're gonna play Noctis in that situation, you have to go for a punishment game, and you have to have a punishment game where you're sitting on the flank of your marksman.
Yeah.
Rather than rushing in and trying to disrupt, if you've got a marksman that you need to protect, you're better off sitting on the flank of that marksman.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Noctis excels at, because he's so quick with his with the move that he has. Because he chucks the move, then he warps to you. You can't quite see what he's doing, and the next thing you know, you've been punished by him.
Yeah, the thing is that it's a tough situation to be in.
I think really, if we compare that to the last game, they had Celestial Spheres stuck at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Celestial Spheres struggled for the most part. They lost the stock early. They got punished multiple times trying to get in. Their first 3 formations did not work at all.
Yep. Another key thing I point out as well is that in the beginning of that match, as I said, I saw Mass run out, and as you pointed out just afterwards, he wanted to give his teammate Ace a little bit more breathing room. But at what cost? You ran into 2 characters, X-Def and Tidus, and didn't really accomplish much.
The thing is that his Ace didn't need the space either.
Yeah, they weren't targeting him.
Yeah, the Ace was the problem is that the Ace was so far out of range anyway from the action, and because everyone is sort of full thrown in together, I don't think the Ace had the Ace didn't have the ability at the time to be able to punish anything because it was too far away. What if anything, his team should play directly in front of the Ace. Yeah,
exactly. Stay behind, have Ace behind, or use Ace's projectiles for the other teammates to stay behind and then go after them. But yeah, it was really. I'm really honestly quite stunned there. There's not really much to go over. It just seemed like Celestial Spheres just kind of locked them down because there wasn't really much of a formation. But now we're going back to something that I quite like here. You know, we're seeing Nell back,
specialists, marksman, and Vanguard.
Yeah, it looks like Amber is now deciding to opt in for the Y'shtola as well. And funnily enough, just to kind of notice that there, but all of Celestial Spheres have switched back to their different characters as well now. So we're now seeing a Mugshotter not running a.
He's running.
Going for Clouds.
He's running for his Cloud now, and
yeah. And Nero's playing Squall.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of funny actually.
So they've both gone for balanced teams. So there should be a lot more neutral in this game. Saying that, Nellspike has already been hit.
Yeah, already thrown out of his teammates. Can't really do much at this range. Amber Fireheart's been knocked down as well when he put any projectiles or traps down, which is what she really should be doing. And
that was a very risky wall run there because he could have been punished for that, but he managed to get away with it, so it's all good. Rough Divide miss. I thought he was gonna go. I thought he was gonna go like full flowchart there and do another one straight after.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
But Night Glow is one of XDEF's best HP attacks.
Yep.
Far range.
Nice little combo. Really nice combo there.
He tries to go for the Night Glow to punish that, and he does.
Oh, double KO. Both. Yeah. So now they've lost another 2 stocks in the span of.
And they've got summon off. Oh boy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Amber Fireheart is now on her own, so she is going to be stuck with Y'shtola against the wall with Odin and 3 characters looking at her. So yeah, you can see it now. They're all looking at her on the character portraits, and her back's against the wall. We need to be a little bit careful here. I would say just run Frozen, and yeah, that was a combo there from Siren. Basically, I don't know if you quite caught that.
No, I didn't.
Did chuck up. So Amber chucked up projectile. Did get frozen midair, and in the same combo, Siren then went for Night Glow. So you're stuck frozen, kind of like with Shiva. You're stuck. Go for an HP attack.
Then you get hit, and then it's good games from there.
Yeah, I mean, even the game seems to think that as well. Again, not to push on them too much, but again, like if you look at the points that both teams have, I mean, Nell got 131 points. That's not really much,
The thing is that I think in that situation, I think what's interesting there is that the team composition has changed considerably. Mm-hmm. So now any sort of things that we talked about before with Celestial Spheres now doesn't matter.
Yeah. So Celestial Spheres are just essentially playing by the book. I think that they're based on what I've seen, I think they're having a bit of fun with this, and they're like, let's just go random basically at this point. When you just pick random in a match. I
actually think they've just gone for a standard composition. So this is a very traditional composition, a traditional Dissidia composition that they've gone for. So they're playing with the Cloud up front, with the XDEF to support the Cloud. I lost the third character.
It was Cloud, Squall, and
so and with Squall to back up the XDEF. Very basic composition in terms of Dissidia, like Dissidia 101 day 1 level of like composition, but it's one of the most balanced and the more effective ones in terms of managing situations.
I've never seen these players play these characters though, so I'm just thinking like maybe they're just like, let's just go with whatever and see if they.
They have. If the thing is that a lot of people tend to play a lot of subs, so people have a lot of subs in this game because this game is not executionally heavy.
Okay. I mean, like I said, they've changed it again now that they've switched as well. They've also sides, colours and that. So
great stuff. It gives me more work to do.
Yeah, just keep that out there for you. They have switched sides, but still going with the same team though. We are seeing two new characters jump in. So it looks like in this case, Lord of the Noobs have now opted to go in for XDEF of their own. And sorry, this whole time I've been saying the Siren's been playing XDEF. He's not been playing Golbez.
Golbez. Yeah, no.
Golbez.
Yeah, they look quite similar, so this is fine.
Yeah, I get Garl and Golbez and all them all, and same as Kane and Cecil confused when he's in his dark form. But, yeah, apologies about that.
The thing about XDEF, XDEF is actually a specialist character, so he doesn't really fit into Vanguard or Marksman. He's sort of a mix of both, with certain unique abilities that that are specific to specialists. So, for example, he's got his own warp attack. He's got various other ways of getting around getting round pressure, but he's also quite slow. So it's something to be
Yeah.
aware of. Nightglow goes out.
Night Guy goes off. Yeah, again, like Saven built up. I don't know if you noticed, but Saven did manage to build up 3.7k bravery in the span of about 20 or so seconds of the match starting. And I looked, I was spectating him, and already I was like, okay, they haven't really caught on to the fact that Saven is the one who's constantly building up so much bravery, much like Mog now, who's at 3.4.
Yeah, and oh god, that Vaughn is on life. That Vaughn is the definition of life support right now. Mass Exodus. Oh boy, Nightgale goes off. Oh, nice dodge.
Does go for a reset. Yeah, he does go for it. Mug does go for a reset to try and. Oh, there's going to be a reset. Yep, reset. Does he? He's trying to get a reset. He wants his teammates to come help him out, but they're not quite capitalising on that. But I think they know they've got him. Nell is potentially going to get KO'd here as well at 218 health. And there goes. Yeah, I think what they did is they kind of changed shift patterns. They were like, "Hey, you take over one, and for Nell, that's what they're going to be using our Mug shot for." Mug is looking to take down Nell at the moment as well.
Yeah, Nell is yes.
Yeah.
That Nightglow has basically dominated the last two games. This map it really works because it's not easy for you to get over and around the terrain.
Yeah,
and the thing is
no
that
one else is playing those types of HP attacks either. You know,
and
the
thing is, Nightglow does it basically splits the arena.
Mm-hmm.
So it cuts off any way you can sort of, if you're traveling in a direction, it will cut off your movement in that direction.
Yeah.
So you're forced to respect it coming out, and you get into a situation where you have to sort of pressurize the goal bears into making mistakes.
Yeah, it's really weird as well because those types of moves, you know, if we look at something like Lord of Arms as well, they're surprisingly what's Shantae's one? Salvation Scythe.
Salvation Scythe, yes.
They hit really high. I mean, they hit high normally, but they hit higher than you think they're going to hit.
Yeah, and they've got an extended hitbox upwards, which makes it quite scary. So you think you're going to sidestep it, and you're like, you think you're going to jump over it, and it's like you get hit, and you're like, well, I guess that didn't work out then.
But Nightglow's been really paying off for them at the moment. I think that's been like the
MVP HP attack.
I was going to say that, but I think sound a little bit weird. MVHP, I don't know. Most valued HP. It's getting them results, and you know, I think they should stick with it.
The thing is that dealing with that HP is a tough one. All HP attacks that sort of travel along and stuff like that have AoE attacks are always kind of hard to deal with. Interestingly enough, things like Shantoto's
Salvation Scythe?
Not Salvation Scythe, her other one.
Matron?
No, the Divine Malison.
Divine Malison.
Right, where she's able to cast that while moving. Right? Yeah. And moves like that, or Terra's Meteor, for example, or any move that immediately hits the target, or where it hits Monolith Beams is another good example. Those moves are very good at punishing moves like Nightglow. Because it doesn't stop you from moving while casting, and a lot of those moves that move in like a sort of a wall, you do not have a chance to get round the moves like that. And the best way to counter them is a move which pinpoints directly on top of them.
Yeah, and I think that's funny enough. That's what Ramza does pretty well actually with the pinpoint moves. We are seeing a change now, though. I don't not like this stage at all. But we're seeing.
Oh man, this stage is perfect for Vayne, and we have a Vayne on the field.
I was going to say, Mass is now going. Mass is now jumping in, and Fireheart's decided to jump out for a little bit, and we're going to be seeing a Vayne play, which is quite nice. So you know, I'm always up for seeing new characters.
I'm going to focus on Vayne for a bit because I love this character. Is he?
He is standing still at the moment.
Is he disconnected?
Is this the new mindset? Looks.
No, he's.
Yeah, no, sir.
Interesting. What happened there? That's weird.
Yeah, very odd. Does get wall spotted there by Nero as well. Though Nero doesn't decide to go any further. I think he realised he just wants to build up the bravery a little bit. Oh, nice block from Nero there as well. But I mean, there is a chance now that Mass can get KO'd here from everyone on.
Basically, I think Nero got wall slammed, but they didn't take advantage of it. They decided to let him go. Probably because they were worried that they were going to get punished, but I think they should have taken it because they sort of got out of that scot-free actually.
Yeah. Looks like Nell could potentially get KO'd here. Unfortunately, Mass did take a KO. It was from Sayrun, who is actually running a different. I think he's running a different HP this time. He did get HP, so he did get KO'd. And now, like I said, if you look at Sayrun, he's already built up 1k bravery. Be a little bit careful with that, especially as Nell, who's only on 496 health. It's going to be pretty big. Oh, double combo. That's what he's running. Is that? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that Twin Meteor is one of those moves that sort of lands on top of you, like just like that.
Double KOs, yeah. Just gets hit by Twin Meteor, and then Mugshotter does actually go for the cross slash as well, which got released the ID. So Celestial Sphere's got a double KO in the span of about a second there.
I think Seren's got basically had this match in his pocket, really.
Yeah, he's done that every time. Like I said, very beginning of the match, he's at nearly 4k bravery because I'm not really too sure if they haven't quite noticed it yet. I like again, like the very first match was amazing. Like with what Lord of Noobs were doing, they were doing amazingly well with their projectile game. And again, they're still playing really solid with some of the characters, but it seems now Celestial Sphere's kind of got them on downloads, and now they're not able to kind of push forward with these kind of new formations that we want to do, which is a bit strange, especially since how well they did before.
The thing is that what Celestial Sphere might have been worried about is dealing with that first game again. Because if you notice in the third game, I think what possibly happened is that first game was tight enough that they they kind of felt that they really shouldn't have gone for that they could have gone a little bit better with that.
Yeah, I wonder. It's just the kind of thing, though. It's like I wonder. So basically, at this point, I'm just thinking, what was their mentality to changing? Regardless of what stage you're going to play, what was the reason for not just having a player jump out and someone else jump in? There's nothing wrong with that. But what was the idea between switching? What worked out for you so well? Because even though they didn't win the first round,
that first round was so good.
Yeah, they managed to break Celestial Spheres apart and get into their minds.
If someone asked me what Dissidia how Dissidia plays at high level, I would show them that first game.
Yeah, I would show them Celestial Spheres when they were winning, and then Celestial Spheres when they're losing in a counterpick format like that, where Celestial Spheres kind of went against Astral Thorns, and they showed them how they play, and then they went against a team like Lord of Noobs on that first round, and then see how that completely changes the formation and how different characters and different stages work. So yeah, that whole thing's like a really good example of Dissidia.
And it's quite. I think one of the most intriguing things about that for me is that when they decided to play that game, and when they decided to change, I kind of thought, do you know what? We'll go back to the zoning heavy game because that's what we're more comfortable with. And stuff like that, and then Celestial Sphere just changed it up. They were like, "Yeah, no, like we're done playing games on this one, so and we'll change it up and change it around," which is it's unfortunate.
I'm interested to see again. Like I want to see afterwards what their kind of mindset was. What was the reason for changing? What did they think they would have accomplished? Not in a bad way, but what was it they was trying to accomplish then? With those character and player switch ups.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I think they could have done maybe a little bit better if they just kept that. But then afterwards, it seemed like Celestial Spheres got their battle plan. They decided to kind of push them into the corner and execute their plan as they normally do.
Yeah, and the thing is that once you have that, it's really, really hard to stop. Like, and oh man, it's so difficult.
Yeah, I give them credit though as well. They tried so much, but funny enough, I think what they did the first time on Besaid Island with their very heavy projectile game was just really good, just really solid. So I would just say, maybe stick with it, see how it goes, because you in a league format like this, you do have a little bit of room to lose a round and say, okay, we've managed to suss them out a little bit. How can we adapt on that, and maybe what can we change rather than just a complete team and player composition change?
I think my replays are not wanting to play right now, which is unfortunate. I've tried twice to get them up, but I'm sort of just trying to get it to work. But it's weird. The preview is working for it. There we go. Play unseen. Enter. Still muted. Yeah, the preview is playing, but it's not playing when I change the scenes. Strange. There we go. Right, got it.
Perfect.
So when we look at the tail end of the first game here, you can tell this is the bit where the composition of a team playing zoning starts to break down. But this is not due to that their team was bad or anything. This is just due to this is how Celestial Sphere's gameplay works, which is so interesting.
I think one of the biggest key points as well you had there was that if you at the very beginning of the replay section you saw Sephiroth do essentially throughout the attack. He then turns around and went back to his teammate. If you look at the mini map, you have all of Celestial Spheres in the middle, and then you have all of Darth Scobs spread out from different angles. So I don't know if you can see that again, but there was that really, really nice map formation from at the very tail end of the match there. It was really nice to see, and that's kind of why they had it, because it was like, cool, we can get the code, bring it back together, then we'll take them apart from the inside while they're on the outside trying to work their way in.
So I've moved on to the second game. Whoops. And I've just reset it back. And the second game is the second game is very interesting for me because I'm a big fan of this composition.
Yeah.
I'm a massive
really nice.
I'm a massive fan of this composition.
Looking at it now, I can see in retrospect.
But the thing is, it's just that if you just the first 20 seconds just doesn't really make much sense to me.
Yeah, I think it really did come down to mass exodus. I can kind of get that. I think what it was maybe a little bit of frustration with saying, look, I'm a little bit annoyed at seeing Celestial Spheres constantly take people apart. Why don't we get right into their defenses? As an assassin, I can do that, so I'll jump straight in and try and pull them apart.
I don't even think that was the case. I actually think that he was just trying to disrupt the other team.
Yeah.
But the problem is about disrupting the other team is that if you're going to go for something like that, your team has to be back there with you. And for the first 15 seconds, before he lost his stock so quickly. God damn.
Yeah, it was a massive quick loss because he was out on his own. But
so
I do like the
battle start. Ace gets knocked back once.
Yep.
By I can never remember his name. Not Xdef, the other one. Golbez, right? He gets knocked back, and Amber is concentrating on managing the other team, and Mass gets zoned out by Golbez real hard.
Yeah, well, like I said, he was out on his own, so he didn't have much defense. If he got hit once, he was going to get hit hard.
And the thing is, I think he got hit once, and then he was able to retreat if necessary, but he ran straight back in.
Yeah,
and I think that if he decided to turn around and join the Sephiroth, and sort of taken a second and sort of went back in after with them, then I think it could have worked because the Amber's ace wasn't bad at all, and when Amber's ace was in range, it kept them in hit stun, made sure that there's enough stuff on screen that they would have to pay attention to. But I think both Mass and id just lost range of where their marksman was.
Yeah, they didn't really play to where the marksman could be a really key factor. Because again, being in this game, just because you're not out in front doing all the damage doesn't mean you're not helpful. So if they move forward or move to a range at which the marksman can help, at least that way. Say for example, Release the ID did actually instead get hit, well, you've got Ace to quickly throw out a projectile to help you out, but they were never being hit in an area where Ace was ever effective, which is why I think that Celestial Spheres looked at Ace and was like, he's not even a problem. They barely even attacked him.
And the thing is that while Ace does have some really good long range options, Ace's projectiles are strongest. Like the hardest hitting ones work best at mid range. Yeah. So if they played them a little bit further out, then if they played them a little bit more further forward, then I think actually it would have worked. But I just think that they sort of just lost sight of where their ace was.
Yeah, and I think one thing they could have done is maybe if they just retreated back to Ace, that way, then the Celestial Spheres would have to play in their ballpark and say, well, we're going to have to try and attack you now, seeing as how we are still playing projectile characters, with the exception of Seiren, who's playing Golbez. At least now our Ace is effective. Or maybe if Ace decided to, or in this case Amber Fireheart decided to go forward a little bit more, but it's also being a little bit cautious. I get that Amber was just being a little bit cautious about where the positioning was on the map, but also being effective is also key.
I think as long as you've got your Vanguard and your Assassin in front of you, if you're an Ace player, I don't think you should really worry too much. And Amber had their Vanguard and their Assassin there in front of them basically all the time. But the problem is that they were too far forward.
Yeah, exactly, too far forward. So even if you say you're playing like, in this case Noctis and Sephiroth, if you do an attack, that's fine. You've got Ace to help you out to keep them locked down, and if you get hit, well then you've still got Ace to help you out. But because they were too far forward, Ace couldn't get any decent projectiles off. And as you said, the best hard-hitting projectiles are at mid-range. Since they're never at mid-range, if Sephiroth or Ace ever got hit, Ace can't do anything from that range really to help him out to perhaps
you can't apply enough hit stun for them to take advantage of being interrupted.
Exactly, yeah. So they were gonna. It didn't really feel. It felt like it was a plan that was made on the fly, and they were going to give it a try rather than. We know this works because we've tested it out, for hours in training mode.
What's interesting is that I'm watching the third game, and I think they sort of anticipated Celestial Spheres might be going back to their first game or something near their first game, and they immediately swapped all of their roles, all their characters around to be a more balanced team.
Cloud and Score come out.
Yeah, which makes a much more balanced team, which can deal with zoning a lot better. Cloud in the last patch got a buff to some of his poison attacks, which makes it so he doesn't get zoned out as hard. Squall is quite a fast character in his own right and does have ways of getting around zoning. And Golbez has got
an assassin who's naturally got that mobility as well.
Yeah, and Golbez has got a lot of projectile priority in his attacks, and he's got a very good of like dominating the field, putting stuff out there, making you have to watch it. Nightglow is a good move just to throw out there to interrupt things. Boy, there's so much else. There's not really much else I can say. And the thing is that after that they were on tilt quite a bit, and that's when Golbez sort of just took advantage of everything.
Like I said, we saw Seiren in every game very early on with so much killing point bravery, like at minimum 3.5k bravery every time at the beginning of the match.
I think overall in these 5 games, I think he got something like I think he's got something around 9 to 10 kills, possibly.
Yeah.
Who got that last one? Was it Seiren? Yeah.
Yeah, Seiren.
And Seiren in game 3 got 2 of the kills. Just an example.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's tough when you could see someone that could dominate the field that much.
It's another interesting thing though, because you say that the character dominated that field, and I definitely agree with you there. And that character Seiren with Golbez got so much bravery, but we never really saw Darkscobs go for him because I honestly think he was the problem.
He was the problem, and what they
the stock.
Yeah, what they should have done, they should have closed him down. When you've got that character, that's, midway through game 4, I would have said to the team like, "Look, man, we can't do this anymore. We need to shut this guy down because this guy is throwing out projectiles. He's got his dragon for free. He's got he's throwing out Nightglow. He's throwing out Nightglow like it's like Saturday Night Fever, and we can't shut him down. And he's killing the party. He breaks up the team from when someone gets knocked down and they're invincible. So when they're on the floor, the team sort of converges on someone else, and that they're immediately fighting a 3-on-2 game, even though the other person's not dead yet. But they use that time to get the jump on the other team, and that's just because Nightingale connects. That's the only reason.
Yep.
And at that point, you have to be like, well, look, right, we need to stop this guy from being able to press buttons.
Yeah. Exactly as you said. Like let's also stop giving him bravery for free, and let's also try and take their team apart. But also let's also realize that Seiren is the problem, because he was the problem for them, and I never really saw Lord of Noobs really recognize that he was the problem.
Yeah, and the thing is that let's look into. I think we're into game 5 right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, we're in game 4, basically. And again, it's just Siren's just doing his thing. So,
but not getting punished for any of it
yeah,
either.
like two minutes and 40 seconds into the 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of the match was the very first time I've seen him apply pressure, and it's I was see the team apply pressure to him, and I can understand is that he is quite scary to fight against, but
Just don't give him the respect.
yeah, just
Like,
don't give him the respect.
shut him down.
You just have to just sometimes you just have to be like balls to the walls. Have got to go in.
Yeah. Like, don't. You have to respect him, but don't give him the respect if you don't have to. Like, don't give him the playing. It's like saying, like, don't give him the playing field that he wants. Just be like, hey, I don't care. I'm going to go after you, and make him scared. I do that a lot with my lightning character. I do that to pretty much every character.
So somebody will say, well, but Mass Exodus went in earlier and he got bopped, and I was like, well, yes, but the thing is that in Dissidia, when you converge on someone, okay, it's like jumping. It's like the dive in Overwatch, for example, where you go in with your tank, with your DPS to dive one specific character, and you've got your healers backing you up. You can sacrifice being punished by the other team to stop one person specifically if that would benefit the game.
Yeah, but in the context of Dissidia, like, what benefit was it for them to make that kind of choice?
I think the benefit is to stop Siren from having field control was more important than anything else, because
exactly. Yeah,
Celestial Spheres got their game on once. Once Siren was like, look, I've got the fields, I've got the opening, guys, rush these guys down because I've got them locked down. You kind of think, right, so they're getting their plays from that. Maybe we should shut down the playmaker to spread them out a bit, and if we can isolate Golbez and take him out, then maybe it could be a bit more smoother. Or even the threat of being like, right, I could be jumped on at any time means that I now have to pay attention to my surroundings a lot more, and that means he's now forced to respect the other play.
Yep, exactly. Like, it just recognizing where they're getting their wins from can make you again, not to sound in an insulting way, but make you a more intelligent player, because that's where you've kind of downloaded them. Right, let's adapt this.
And the thing is that it's just in a game such Dissidia is a very different style of arena fighter compared to most others. So in for example, in Gundam Versus, you don't have to specifically diving a character is not as useful in Gundam Versus because it's 2v2. But in Dissidia, because it's 3v3, you have to, if there's one person dominating the game, then you would have to make sure that they're not able to get away with what they're doing.
Yeah, just like I said before, just don't give them the respect. If you recognise that there are a few people and a few players in particular that I realise, like another one would be Cherub. He plays Artemisia, and he's always gaining so much bravery, but it's because people give him the respect. And I'm thinking, just take these people apart. The same could be said with someone like Chrissy, who builds up loads of bravery because everyone gives her the respect as a Terra player. And in this case, if you're giving Sabin the respect to build up that much bravery to the point that 20 seconds into the match he's already at killing brave, 3.5k bravery at minimum, just recognise that is going to be the problem. And as I said before, in this style of tournament format, you have the ability to lose a round and then also go for the next couple of rounds and say, okay, we need to change and make this our new strategy. You can afford to lose a round in this
the thing is, in the city, you could afford to lose a stock. Like, losing a stock to stop someone doing their usual stuff can be quite important.
Yeah.
And one of them... Yeah, Karen.
That's what you were saying?
No, you go first.
I was just going to say as well, like, this it's a weird mentality, because it's like with other fighting games or stuff like this, where people think that if you lose that taking damage is bad, when really, sometimes it's fine to take damage because you've learned something from it. Like if you jump in Street Fighter, you take a DP, you've learned the damage output and the respect you have to give to that kind of move. Same as in this, you can lose a stock and not be like, that was.
It's not the end of the world.
If you can sacrifice a stock if it means that you've learned something mid-game and adapted to that.
And the thing is, if it's at the start of the game, you can't be killed immediately at the start of the game because of the way the game works. So I think a good mentality, a good example on it, right? Is I don't know if you ever saw the Infiltration versus Daigo first to 10 on SF4
I've seen
years
a few of
ago.
those, but I can't remember that exact one.
Right, Daigo said in that interview, he was like, "Yo, I got hit by crouch medium kick a lot to make Infiltration burn his bar, so he couldn't have 2 meters to punish me all the time."
Yeah.
So basically, if you jump Golbez and you stop him from doing his stuff, you're like, well, I guess that's okay, because and you get punished out of it. It's like, well, that's okay, but now Golbez has no bravery.
Yeah.
So he won't effectively go for Nightglow as much, or he knows that we'll do that immediately if if it's too much for him.
It's against a learning curve, and I think that some people say, it's like you want to make the bleeding stop. It's like, I guess you could even say something like Killer Instinct, where you get hit by a combo, you want to do a combo breaker, but you want the bleeding to stop.
Yeah.
If you lose a stock, it's not that bad. Just take it and learn from it, and you still got 2 stocks to make a comeback. And we've seen like 3 stocks being wiped out immediately, like in this game. It's insane. I mean, if we look at Dissidia as it is now in its tournament lifespan, at first I was one of those people who was getting hit by Triumph and Gasp, but now we're seeing people learning the frame data, learning the kind of activation phase, the startup frames activate, and now they're dodging it.
Seeing Ninzard dodge that spiral cut at last second basically says to me that, yo...
Yeah, he's taken enough spiral cuts to realise I need to learn against this move, and now he's, used his bravery sacrifice to learn against that move, and now he can at least dodge it.
See, what's interesting about that is that he didn't just dodge it entirely. He did the one thing that I don't see many players do, and he basically moved under it. So spiral cut has a massive blind spot right under it, and where you can sort of dash through. But it only works in certain angles. So if you've got your back away to Tidus and Tidus comes with a spiral cut, if you backdash, you'd go under him and he'll move forward, for example.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So it's just the way that it's just the way the physics of the game work. So if you do a move that locks you forward, and you backdash, and Tidus is coming from behind you, you immediately backdash past him, and he'll go on over you. It's just the way that the dodging mechanics works in games like this. So, that sort of ability to have that sort of insight is so important, and I think that people are getting more aware of that. And I think what people need to do now is that people need to concentrate more on the team composition and playing with each other. Then and I think from that they'll be very much improved.
Yep, completely.
Anyway, we should call it GG's here. It's been a very successful day for Celestial Sphere.
Yep.
With 2 5-0 victories. Not much else you can say other than that, really.
Looks like we've just had the Royal Knights finish their team as well, so we've actually kind of wrapped up at the perfect time in here.
Damn. Alright, Cody, it's been great having you as usual.
Indeed, dude.
Alright, for all you guys that are watching Dissidia, take care and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Ta-da.